Well, I'm live on Instagram. Am I live? Am I live everywhere?
Not yet. It's connecting. You are.
Hi, this is Lady Zen. We're working on some stuff to go live, but we're live on Facebook and Instagram today. Welcome to my studio. We're just gonna wait for a few people to log in. Um, it's a pleasure to be here. when you know when you when you're working with technology, it's kind of fun, right? Um, so I wanted to come on here today and do a live presentation and just talk to you for a minute about what's coming up with the shows. I have a show. It's me singing Billie Holiday, and it's going to be at the Obraje in here in San Miguel. It's on the 28th. It starts at 7 p.m. But I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm choosing to do this particular concert. When I was studying voice, I had just finished a presentation of Macbeth, an opera presentation. And I was at the cast party, and I went to the party, and I was feeling a little awkward. It was a strange time in my life. Like, things were really changing for me. I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to do opera anymore, and a lot of personal things were happening in my life, and I was kind of looking for purpose. And I was sitting in this chair next to the speaker, and they were playing this CD that I had never heard before, and it was Billie Holiday singing. And I sat right by the speaker, and I was like, "Wow, this is incredible!" Like, I'd never heard Billie Holiday sing, and somebody was teasing me. They were like, "What, you've never heard Billie Holiday sing?" And I was like, "Well, I've spent my life studying gospel music. I spent my life studying opera, and I never really had delved into jazz at that point." And while listening to her sing, it just kind of resonated with me, and it was the first time that I really heard sort of like a kind of emotion in music in a way I hadn't before. And I decided then that my purpose was to be a jazz musician and to begin writing in new ways. And while I was at the party, the guy was like, "Hey, let me burn a copy of this CD. Remember when we used to do that? Like, hey, what, this a copy of a CD." And I kept that CD with me forever. And I was moving from Arkansas to Washington State. I went to the Evergreen State College, and it was there that I started really working on business, and I started working on my life as a jazz musician. And while I was in Fayetteville, I had done some like club stuff, like jazz club stuff, but I was still kind of novice in the way that I was presenting myself as a jazz musician. And so I met in Olympia, Washington, I met this man named Joe Bach, who was a pianist he was the principal pianist for the Copacabana. And he was telling me all these stories about working with all these incredible artists. And he was the one that really taught me how to work with a jazz accompanist. And I started working with Joe, doing more jazz shows, and we actually did a couple of recordings together. I hope I can find those someday. Maybe I'll find those. But he really taught me how to sing with a jazz accompanist, and I really appreciate Joe. He died recently, maybe a few years back, at 100 years old. I thought that he was already 100 when I started working with him, but it was he actually, when he was 15, he snuck into a club and asked if he could play for Billie Holiday, one of her last shows. So Billie Holiday has always really meant so much to me, and I I have I've always appreciated the emotion in her voice, and I wrote um, a recent poem about Billie Holiday. It's and the mothers of my voice. It's about Nina, Simone, Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin, and Billie Holiday. And the Billie is the first one I talk about in Mother of My Voice, and it says, "My first love wore gardenias in her hair, while the heroin coursed through her veins, and I would listen to her sing of love and pain transmuting into beauty." And for me, the power that Billie Holiday had was unique in the way that she could take all of these points of her life and really change those into such beautiful places. My Badu show at the Big Easy is one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. Thank you so much, JC. I appreciate that. Thank you. I love that show. It was an incredible experience for me too. I'm so glad that you liked it. Thank you. That's from Instagram. So one of my first tributes to Billie Holiday was actually at the Mayo Street Arts Performing Center in Portland, Maine. It was in August of 2010, and I was on this little stage, and I took that CD and I sang the songs that were on the CD for that concert. And that's kind of what I've done with this as well. I'm using a lot of that CD as a way of navigating what I want to say in the show. And the idea to use members of the Guanajuato Chamber Orchestra came from just getting to know these different musicians and enjoying classical music in the way that I do. And Luis Eduardo of Unshow Productions put me in touch with the chamber orchestra. So we're using members from the chamber orchestra for this show. I have one of the jazz greats that lives in town, Azande. He's a drummer, and he'll be playing drums for us, adding so much to the show. Sorry, getting a little cold. I also am really excited to be back at the Obraje. The Obraje was one of the biggest concerts that I did here in San Miguel. It's a amphitheater, and the amphitheater is hundreds of years old, and it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful place to hear a concert, and it's kind of reserved for people who are doing amazing things. Like Magos Herrera was there. Pila Seca just did their concert there, their 25th anniversary concert, which was mind-blowing. It was stellar. It was a great show, and our goal is to just give you a really special evening. What else can I say? Looking at my notes. I make these little note cards, y'all, like this. I take big cards and I like cut them down, and I make these little cards for myself so that I can map out what it is that I want to do with a lot of different things. It's a great alternative to Post-it notes. But tickets are on sale now. We're selling pretty good. we'll have cushioned seats for people. It is general admission, so you just come. Except there is a VIP experience that you can also be part of. The VIP section is $7.50. This is actually a concert that we're doing at a lower price. The initial concert that we did at the Obraje was a little more expensive, but we decided to do it this way because we wanted to get more people to come and we wanted more people to enjoy the evening. So general admission tickets are $500, VIP experience is $7.50, and it includes being able to hang out with me and the band after the show. And I just really hope that you come. I'm looking forward to this concert for many, many reasons. I was sitting in Parker and Lennox not too long ago in Mexico City. I had a show there, and as I was sitting in the club, they were playing Billie Holliday, and she was singing "Don't Explain," which I think is probably the most beautiful arrangement of that particular song. And we're taking a lot of these. We had an arranger come in and create all of the arrangements, the original arrangements of the pieces from the album. So our goal is to do 4 of these major concerts around San Miguel, Querétaro, Mexico City, León, and in Guadalajara. So there's a lot of exciting things that are happening. If you have any questions, I'm going to put in the link below. I'll give you a link to buy tickets. And I hope that you'll come. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Do you have any questions? Is there anything you'd like to ask me? I have somebody who's monitoring the Q&A here. Anything on Instagram here coming through? Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So this is Lady Zen, and I look forward to seeing you and performing for you. You're going to see a lot of information about this show coming out in the next couple of days, and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.